Hello, I want to show you a video about my HKUSC to UMP. Take this out. I've had this for a long time, and it's went through several different configurations. I had a M900 one time down here. I had a Aimpoint M2 at one time over the Bushnell TRS. The hood wasn't always cut on the front sight, and I had at one time I had a different stock block, and I had a different lower at one time instead of a SF. On the end here, if we can get this to focus, we have a B&T brake, which you don't ever, it doesn't mitigate recoil whatsoever. You can see that, whoops, see that flange is pretty well used. I had it KG gun coated over top the Parkerizing black oxide years ago. The rails, believe it or not, are UTG G3603 Picatinny rail set. The short ones fit up here. The long one, if you put one hole down on the end, will fit the top. You can see that hole I had to put in. Just is enough room. But anyway, well, you can also see down here on the lower I stippled this. Now, I don't regret this. What I do regret is I wish I could stipple then like I could stipple now. This wouldn't be so rough. Also on the bottom, I drilled a hole and put a tab so that if you want to take that storage plate off, you got something to pull. Just to pop that off. The other accessory that I have, as you already probably know if you've watched my videos, is the Defender. Original Advanced Armament Defender. And I'm very proud of that too. So you can see here the accessories, if you will. If I can get this set, there you go. Pretty much have everything. I don't know if I would put an Aimpoint Micro on here. I really like the look of it with the Aimpoint M2, that classic look. After several different types of running several different types of lights, this is a nice setup, but it's kind of impedes a little bit your charging handle, which is not very big. And after several different, you know, options that I've ran of lights, I really only see two good ways to do this, and if you have different ideas, by all means share them. But you can run a scout light here and like a Knight's grip here and just run the cable down. But I think the only right way, if you will, to run a light on this is the M900 style of light. Surefire M900, M910, whatever. I just feel that way because you can have your light and grip all on the bottom rail. You can ditch the side rails unless you run a laser, which I cannot see that being a real option. I mean, I can't see running a laser on this to be a real need. It's a 100-yard and in gun, mainly a CQB style weapon. This ain't something you use out in the hills of, you know, Hoobie Jooby or whatever, you know. It's not that kind of gun. But I will, after trying everything over 10 years of owning this, after trying everything once, I kind of look back and see what I like the most of everything I've tried, and eventually I'll get another M900 for this, maybe another M2 with an arms throw lever, and call it quits. I might get another SF lower. Two reasons. First of all, the stipple job. I don't hate it. Again, it's just too rough. And secondly, this pictogram is just wearing out. Not a whole lot of paint left in it. This, I could just sand this down and with a Dremel, just sand it and re-stipple it, and that might be an option. But with the pictograms going, it's just maybe something I want to look into getting something else. You can see here's your brake, and it's got a dog in the top. There's a little pin inside, keeps it from spinning. So once you put it on, you just push this latch back and down, it hooks in that pin, and there, you're done. Something else I kind of did for myself was to, with a mill, drill tiny little holes, not all the way through, just just little holes in here to give me some sort of witness marks, just to sort of help me out. I kind of wish, you have to excuse me, I just feel all choked up here, but I kind of wish I'd have used a smaller dot, a little finer dot, but I guess there ain't nothing wrong with that. And you can, if you look through the optic at the front sight, you can see there's a dot down there. just to sort of give you a little point of reference, a little aiming reference. Something else neat about that paint is if you hit it with a little bit of light, say from that Surefire, then as you can see, it's like a luminescent. Now this was my sort of option to night sights, because the only one I ever liked was the night sight front sight kit from Trijicon, not XS. I hate XS big dots. But there you go. I usually have this in a case, so these never get to stay out in the light to charge. But at the time, they held a pretty good charge when I was into this gun, when this was my only carbine rifle. Since then, I've went to to various ARs, and one time I had a SIG 551. But this thing's cool. Now, there are some things on this I don't care for. One of them being, if you look, the UMP stock, if I can get this to focus, sits higher than the HDPS stock block. Now, there is a fix for this. It requires taking a mill, getting almost flush with the stock block, and milling the top of this off smooth. I don't mind that option. However, lately I have kind of been thinking about sending this to Tommy Bostic for the hook, so that when I swing the stock around it will latch. And I have thought about putting a UMP rear end on the back, but the hook I'm not worried about. I know it'll work. I never fold this stock. I think it is ridiculously dumb to fold the stock. I hate it. I like it. I like the option in case you're going to pack it in a backpack, but I would never carry it with the stock folded. I'm worried about putting a UMP rear end on the back, because I just don't know how well that'll hold up, how functional it will be. I mean, I know they shoot them all day long, but at the end of the day, how many rounds will you get out of it before that cracks? 500, 5,000, 10,000, it's done. I don't know. But this is my little precious, if you will. I don't really shoot it all that much. I will roll in some shooting clips, but that's it. I mean, if you got any questions about this, feel free to comment, subscribe. Oh, one thing I do want to say to any of you who might own these, when I pull this charging handle back and it's locked, this is the only way I can load the gun. I have to lock it back and slap it. If I just pull the charging handle back from the to the end and let it go, it will not load around. That round we're going to imagine my finger's the round. What that round does is when the bolt carrier picks it up, it starts up the feed ramp and then it flips and jams. Now if I give it the MP5 slap, it goes up the feed ramp and it loads. But if I just pull the charging handle back and release it, like slingshot it, whatever you want to call it, it goes up the feed ramp and then it flips up like that. So, I'm thinking that after 10 years of using this, that recoil spring is the issue. I doubt it's the magazines because every time I go out and shoot it, I only use magazine 1. Because I'm not doing no crazy reloads. These mags are so long. I used to have a plate carrier set up with these mags, and it was just, they were too long to try to pull off your chest and load like you would AR-15. So, I take magazine 1, I fill it up, I go out, bang, 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 case closed, I go back home, you know. I don't shoot. When I first got this, I shot a lot, but still, magazine 1. Anymore these days, I take it out once a year, maybe. So, if that's the issue, the recoil spring, get a hold of me, because I would like to know before I call HK and buy one and throw my money away. The barrel is a USC barrel with a flange. I don't know if you guys remember them flanges that came out. You turned your barrel down a little bit and you sort of, I guess, silver soldered the flange on. As a matter of fact, I think I have a spare one right here to give you an idea. Here it is. Has a keyway in it. And you just turn your barrel down, put that keyway on the dead bottom, slip it on. And what I did after I slipped it on was, instead of silver soldering it, I had a micro TIG bead put on the back shoulder. Just a fine bead, because I did have one of these before that I silver soldered on, and I had a serious issue with it. Well, with the barrel. That was back before I did my own machine work, though. Anyway, with that being said, this thing's been great. Lately, I've actually put the ARs away, picked this back up because it's just so neat. It does have the vent hole covers in it, or the cooling vent covers, I mean, but these panels kind of cover that up. There's one dead in the bottom, too. I took a nut, and I'll make a video on this. I took a nut, and I dropped it off at my TIG welders to weld a little eye on it. Because the one that they sell at hkparts.net, 40 bucks, that's outrageous. No way. But, give me a minute, I'll roll in some shooting clips, and then that'll be the end of the video. So, enjoy the coming clips. Bye.